this is the call that Daniel's team set up yesterday. I think this is the second attempt to hit him up, right? We tried to hit him up last Tuesday and he ghosted. And then now we finally connected with him after another scheduled call. He picked up this time. So let's take it away. Let me know if you guys have any trouble hearing. Let's see it. One second.
This is Marcus. Hey, Marcus, this is Drew.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Bet. All right.
Here with the creative financing department. How are you?
I'm well today, sir.
Good. Daniel wanted me to give you a call. He had here notes. Call you at 2. It's still a good time for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Right off rip. It's always the first thing that happens, right? Is the intro. I used to never believe in saying how you doing or whatever, like that pleasantry. I used to like to go right into it. I think I got that from Mike Ferry, just run right into it. But I like doing it because you can get a temperature track. See, to see how you got, if you got to pivot real quick or see what type of personality you want to take on, right?
Yeah.
So right off rip, like, how do you feel about his personality?
He was more like nonchalant, and he was like, when he said, yeah, it's fine, he seemed like he was like in a mood to talk.
Yeah. That's not encouraging at all to fucking talk to somebody,
Yeah.
especially if you're like, newer or whatever.
Yeah. Hell
Confidence all the way up. It's like, oh, yeah, fuck, here we go again. It's gonna be a tough one. So let's see how. I always talk about leaning into shit. You know what I'm saying? Leaning into it, pulling it out. Right? You got to touch whatever shadow they trying to keep the shadow. Pull it out. So let's see how that happens.
That's fine.
Go ahead. Don't hold back.
No, go ahead, sir.
Oh, okay. So look, there's not much here in notes. He had that you were open to doing something creative to sell the property, and he said, of course, it had to be beneficial. He put in there, and then also free and clear. So I'm just here to kind of gather up what you're looking to do, so we can have our analysts run the numbers, make sure it works, and then put a deal together.
Okay, before he responds, that's why the 4 pillars is important. So moving forward, we'll establish some format. Sometimes actually there's really no better format than just putting the 4 pillars. Mikey, you already kind of understand that. So whenever you're going, so I'm sure yours is going to come like that. If you have an opportunity to pass that along to Daniel, you can restructure it. So when we send it over, I don't have to go in kind of like this. So which it's not horrible, but it's better to have that information because this could piss people off when they think there's a breakdown in communication, especially when they sound like him. And so pretty much I'm fluffing it up and I'm going off of memory, kind of like what we talked about. Good thing it was the same day or whatever. So literally the only thing I have in front of me is just the notes that Daniel popped into the chat earlier that day. So let's see how he responds to me trying to set that frame. And so I'm basically telling him, don't really have that much information, lost in translation, blah, 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 a lot of shit going on. This is almost a form of catching up to speed on where you guys, or what your last conversation was with the acquisition team, and not those words though.
Yeah.
No problem. I did detail some information to him. I feel
interest rate,
because I'm just not. I'm starting to get sick.
So
it's somebody's fault, but life at this point.
You catching that new COVID strand that's going around?
I could be. Who knows? I might be having some other plans by next week. But moving forward,
okay,
for where we're at, I detailed some information. I asked some questions.
Yeah.
So it's not just a shot in the wind.
Okay, perfect.
I've provided information to him. I provided information to the other gentleman. At this point, I don't have to do this. It's very clear to me. If you're going to make me an offer, make me an offer. If you're looking to do owner financing, then so be it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you guys should be coming to the table with me. It's not a matter of me telling you what I want.
Well, we're trying to.
What I prefer first conversation.
Okay.
And I'm just being honest.
No, I love it. Yeah.
Because I'm really not feeling the best today as well. At the end of the day, the last question I asked, if we're looking at owner financing, what is the interest rate that you're looking to pay? Is there any prepayment penalty? For you guys, being that, okay, if you plan on getting a note for 1 year, 5 years, 7 years, is it interest only payments? Therefore, will there be a balloon at the end? These are basic things. Well, I shouldn't say basic because it's not. It's things that persons in my realm will know.
Mm-hmm.
So the offer should be presented to me in that fashion, not a matter of me saying, okay, well, I want $250,000. Okay, I can tell you I want 400. I mean, you guys know how to run comps. You know how to look at a neighborhood. You know how to do all this stuff.
Okay. Understood. Anything else you want to add before I go? I just want to hear everything you had to say so I know what to address.
No, but truthfully, I mean, that's coming straight from the hip.
Yeah.
I can sit here and list a comp right now if you want me to get up and do it. But I'm just saying, you can look at the comps in the neighborhood. You can look at last 30-day sales. These are basic things that are out there. Do I have to entertain a low ball offer? No, I don't, because I don't have to sell it. But if you're going to make me a reasonable offer, if it looks as though there's room for you to make money and for me to make money, then I'll entertain it.
Absolutely.
That requires 6, 7, 9 phone calls of politics.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So what the fuck just happened there? And how would you guys handle that?
Honestly, I think like he's being receptive. I don't know. I sounds like, you know, he's actually he's saying he doesn't want to sell, but it sounds like he's wants to sell, like he's motivated to sell as well. It's kind of like, you know.
Okay. So
yeah, he sounded like from what I heard, he was like telling y'all to put the terms together and present it to him. Is that what he said?
1,000%. Yeah. He's pretty much saying, make me an offer. It's, you know, you get the same objections over and over. You know what I'm saying? There's only, 5 to 7 of them, if that, you know, and that might be even more than it really is. But they dress differently. Just like there's like only 4 personality types, but they look different. They could be a big Jack Black dude. They could be a fucking skinny fucking puny white dude, but they're still A-type personalities, you know? So it don't really matter. We got to cut past the surface level on what's being said, you know, strip all that shit down. There's still a human under there, you know, who has a need that we got to find. So he's saying, make me an offer. But the thing is, like, listening is key, right? Seek to understand and then be understood, right? If I jump and fucking start talking, trying to address everything he pinpoints before I understand the actual deep down issue, then I'm fucking up. We're only putting band-aids on the shit, and he's gonna fucking blow a fit and you know, bust through his fucking stitches and bleed out. You know, conversation's over, it's dead. So a lot is going on what he's saying, but what's happening, I let one understand. We let them blow out steam, right? Blow it out, right? Hit your tone, his tone, like these things will sync up, right? And so like mirror and matching, right? I can match them and then, or I can match and mirror them, or match them and then I mirror them or whatever, like pace and then lead, right? Follow his fucking footsteps and then I slowly turn it into my footsteps. So now he's on my vibe, right? And I go, and another way to say that is I go into his world, and then this is one I always use, go into his world, understand what that looks like, and bring him slowly back to my world. He's a cat. I got to lure him in softly. He's not a dog where I can just lunge at him and grab his stupid ass and bring him over, right? Dogs fall shit all the time. That's wholesale, right? So what I identified in this whole thing is, he's having a fucking wholesale conversation with me. He's way off. We're not speaking the same language right now, so I got to correct that shit, right? So the thing is, so Daniel, you said he's motivated, he wants to sell. I know you know what you're talking about. So anybody else who would have said that who's like newer, you know, I would accuse them of trying to force the shit, right? You just didn't, in my opinion, didn't articulate it properly. he never said he don't want to sell. He said I don't have to sell,
Yeah.
right? So you're right, the motivation is there, but we need to figure out how he's trying to dress it up and cover it up so we can unravel that bitch properly and not get it kinked up and get a knot in there, right? So he's like, I don't have to sell, blah blah blah. I want to sell at my luxury if it makes sense for me. What he did say that was right. What he said that was cool. That Daniel, I know you keyed on because you said he's motivated, right? Again, you're just saying it in shorter words. I'm more long-winded, because I like to give the runway, time for the plane to take off so everybody understands what really happening. Because remember, it's only but so many types of conversations. It's just dressed differently. But if you understand the root, we can navigate all of them, right? So in this situation, he's like, he's dancing around saying all this shit. But what is he really telling me? He's saying, yeah, I don't have to sell, obviously. I'm open to selling. Okay, that's why we're on the phone and you just went through 7 or 9 calls, like he said earlier, and you're still on the phone and you're sick and you still want to do this, even though I offered to push it off, which is another thing I'll talk about here in a second. He is one of the fucking most beautiful things he said that made me happy was, if it has to make sense for me and I make some money and you guys make a little money and I'll entertain it.
Oh yeah.
Right? That's fucking gold right there, right? That shows we're dealing with a fair man. We just need to get on his level so he understands that we're professionals, right? Rapport is not us having a fucking cat and he has a cat, or he's falling sick with COVID possibly, and we know somebody that's doing it. That's not fucking rapport. That's fucking stupid, right? What's rapport is being credible, being an authority in space, and sharp as a tack. That's rapport. That comes from Jordan Belfort in a straight line persuasion. That is rapport there, right? Because think about when you go to any fucking professional that you're about to break some bread with and make it rain on, right? Fucking, you go to a professional, they aren't keying with you and shit. And when I say professional, I mean a doctor or lawyer, right? The guys who get paid the big bucks, right? Who get paid up front, like these lawyers, right? You go to them, you want to see a motherfucking professional. Yo, you just fucking, you getting tried for murder and shit. You want somebody not fucking keying with you, with somebody who's going to get you off that murder case, knowing you fucking did it, right? That's the person I'm channeling every time I'm doing these calls, right? Confidence.
Yeah.
Right? So what else? I put some notes here. Okay, so now we understand it only came together once I listened to everything he had to say. And I'm like, yes, got him. So he said, in his world, right? Someone like him, in my realm, or somebody like him should know. That's how he told on himself after he just said, yeah, I need is it a fucking interest only? And if it is there a balloon? Blah, blah, blah. He's been doing homework, right? Or he has some knowledge in fucking loans and shit, right? And he said, this is something in my realm that, in my position, I should know. Like, yeah, motherfucker, you should know. That's why we're asking you, what the fuck do you want, bitch? So, but we can't say that, right? But it's in there. So now all I need to do is tie something to that. I need to make a metaphor to that so he can make that association in his head, which he'll pull out later, right? So this guy is like, I should know that. Lowball offers, comps. Those are wholesale conversations, bro. Again, that's another indicator we're off, right? I don't give a fuck about comps within reason, right? So moving forward, let's see how we handle this. That's all the psychology behind that, right? So boom, now I'm about to go in.
Definitely, you getting sick. Probably not the best time to talk about this, but yeah, I love everything you just said because you're talking to the right guy. This is creative department, right? Things are different, but by the time it gets to us, people are typically, talking with your tone and manner, and understandably so. The guys you're talking with before, they don't do creative. They're on everything you just mentioned is all up their alley. That's not even our stuff, right? These are super easy transactions, and the reason why we ask, what you want is because we're literally trying to give you everything you want. We don't care about comps. We don't care about equity on the deal. We're not looking for that. The reason it came over here is because there's no equity to gain on the deal for the investors over in the cash side. So on this side, we value it based off the ability for the property to cash flow, right? So the only comps we would look at is rental rate, things like that. So if
Which makes total sense at this point.
mm-hmm.
If you're going to do that, you're absolutely right, because as long as there's not money,
Got him.
Amen.
cover was going back in the name, then everybody's happy.
My God, absolutely. So
Right. Boom. We got rapport.
Mhm.
We just fucking established that I'm a credible source and know what the fuck I'm talking about. And he don't know that I'm sitting there in my underwears. Actually, no, I'm not. But I used to. My office, my last office, I used to, it was in my bedroom. I used to sleep. I used to fucking do this shit in my underwear, right? But you know, but I got some hoochie daddies on, so it might as well be underwears. So he don't understand that. You know, I'm sitting there with a fucking pinky ring, fucking looking crooked as fuck, and he don't even know. You know what I'm saying? So you know, we got him, you know what I'm saying? Just like that, unraveled that loose ass band that she had covering all his shit up, right? So one of the things I did in there, that formula for that, all I did, I just wrote it down. I understand, right? All those words dressed up just means I understand exactly what you're saying. Remember, first seek to understand, then be understood. So I made him right. I understand. And then I even said, most people are like you, right? After being shuffled around and talking to this person, that person, most people have, you know, that same feeling you have. That's all I understand. And that's social proof, right? Now you can tweak that depending on the vibe you want the guy to embody, right? Whatever you want to translate to him, right? Sometimes, like if they are thinking this is a real problem, like when we get past this stage and we're on the reasons why they shouldn't do it, do on sell clause and this and that, and they're bringing that up themselves. I will. It's not most people feel like that. I don't want to do that, right? It's more like, yeah, every 1 out of 9, every 1 out of 10, people, you know, feel that way, right? And I'm relating it to his situation, but we got to use a little emotional intelligence and situational awareness. I already know from Daniel, even though the notes didn't come over, Daniel did do a good job of explaining the scenario, right? He said interest rate. I threw that out earlier as if it was a note on a piece of paper, just kind of threw it in the air to let her subconscious see it. Hey, we do have something, you know, even though we don't have nothing, we have something. Some type of handoff was made with your information, handled it with a little care, I guess. But he didn't catch it, didn't go anywhere, but just subconsciously it may have helped, right? May not, maybe not. None of these things change everything single-handedly. It's just little things that add up to a big change, right? And a big effect. So I'm like, I forgot the train of thought I was going on that, but most people understand. Most people I understand. Most people are like you. Then education, right? A little bit of education. The reason why, you know, all that talk and this and that is wholesale. I'm not wholesale, right? Now we go into reframe. The reframing of it is the first frame was, hey, you know, I only got a little bit of information, you know, because this and this is happening, right? It was a weak frame in the beginning. Nothing's perfect, right? Weak frame in the beginning. I could have been stronger with that, right? A good frame in the beginning for an underwriter is like, yeah, I'm the guy who writes the checks and this and that. I just piggyback off of whatever I was edified to whatever level that was, right? So that helps in the previous call. So the reframe is now, yeah, I'm the guy to talk to, but we on this side, we don't worry about any of that stuff. Purchase price and all that, we don't really care about it, right? That's a wholesale conversation. When now here's a third party story ish, right? When people come to us and we do deals with them, it's because of this, that, and the third. It's because there's no money to be made on wholesale, right? So they come over here and they're wanting their specific price and they get it over here after conversation, this and that. That's all in the reframe, right? Now we're on the same page, right? And then a little bit more education because it's not about equity to us. It's about cash flow, right? And then he's like, now that makes perfect sense. You know, now he's up, you know, he's with it. I'm like, hell yeah, it makes sense, asshole. Next time, don't fucking come at me like that, you know? But he didn't know, right? Forgive them for they know not what they do. So now we're on. So let's hear how he responds.
So, you know, now that you know we're on the same page, if you want to push this next week when you know what's going on with your situation, we can do that and we can have a good conversation and you know, high five when we close this deal, or we can start it up now. Balls in your court. You let me know.
Boom, false sense of control, right? That's called a job, right? Everybody who has a job, they have a false, they're slaves. They don't even know it. They have a false sense of security. They think they're in control. They're not at all, because fucking somebody gets caught for embezzlement or fucking they go broke up top. All that shit's getting shut down, fuck down. Now they're out in the streets, right? False sense of control. Fucking sheeple love it, right? So also gave him a way out, right? Because understand, when it's don't spill all your candy in the lobby is a term. Don't fucking let all your shit out. Don't blow your load, right? You gotta fucking, you in it for the long haul, right? So this is why, you know, scripts are cool and all, but one-liners are better. Things you can have in your back pocket so you can fucking load up your bow and arrow or whatever type of weapon you're using for this and fucking shoot, right? And conserve and not machine gun the fuck out of them and blow everything, right? We let them throw their ammo out so we can grab it and fucking use it back. They're throwing daggers. We can use it at them, right? So he told me he was sick earlier, right? A little compassion. Not really. I don't give a fuck, right? The problem is he's not in a buying mood right now because he's not in a dire situation. His health's more important right now than this house, right? And it's seller finance. Understand that the avatar for a seller finance person is gain. It's gain. It's not pain, right? There's no pain in there in most cases, right? Because if there was true pain, that's where Daniel's team comes into play. Wholesale, they would have got him at fucking 30 cents on the dollar, 50 cents on the dollar, whatever the fuck it makes to make money. They would have got him, right? So there's no pain. That's why we went to this route, creative. It's all gain, right? So again, that's why I pushed them off. Also, it shows we're not thirsty. It's like being with that girl on the first night. Yeah, you could try to go for the kill and smash, but you kind of got to let them lead it. But if you act like you don't want it, you know, I think you're respectable. Oh, you're not rushing and this and that. And they wanted even more, you know? Yeah. So I'm pushing him away and he's coming back. I'm like, nah, you can't spend the night. He's like, yeah, but I just want to stay in color, feel the vibe, you know? And then you just slip the tip in, right? There we go.
You know, I was actually thinking about, he's like, no, I don't want to sell. I don't know.
Yo, all this shit relates to fucking, you know, dating, bro. It's the same shit.
But he's like, but if you could make money and I could make money, you know, I might.
Yeah.
You know? And like,
that's like you can make me come and I could come.
Drew just walks in and just freaking smashes, bro. It's just freaking smashes. Like, come here, grabs him by the hair. Come here.
Word up.
There we go. And I'm being very honest. I answered the call because I said I was not interested in the calls, but here to take the call.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I said what I had to say at this point. I understand what you're looking for. You understand what I'm looking for.
Well, not quite yet. I don't understand yet what you're looking for, because think about it like this. Go ahead. You want to say something?
You know, we know the path that we're trying to go.
We want to make it a win-win for both of us. You're making your money, we're making our money. We're upgrading you from landlord to the lender as the bank, and we're getting a cash flowing profit here in a perfect scenario. The way that works though is you are the bank, so we're going to you. It's like us walking in the Bank of America saying, "Hey, we're paying this, that, and that." You don't like it, we're walking away. You know, it never really works like that for us, you know. So it's the only way these deals, we close 6 of these on average a month. So the only way we're able to do that is because we give the seller exactly what they're looking for. We have to win, obviously, in one of those categories, and cash flow is typically where we want to win. You know what I mean? If it's interest rate, if you want to, only time someone put a prepayment penalty on us,
third party story.
I've been doing it was when they had a specific need. They wanted it. 20 years out, they wanted a prepayment penalty because they wanted us to at least hold it so their daughter, when they passed on, their daughter would have a certain amount of money. So it gets, granular just like that. You know, if someone has a specific purpose, we try to meet that goal. These are friendly situations. We're going to be in a long-term relationship. You know, these aren't just, hit it and quit it type of scenarios. You know what I mean?
Hit it and quit it, right? No. Sexual innuendo. Most people ain't gonna say that, right? But my higher self said say it, so I fucking said it. The reason why I know my higher self said it because I'm fucking vibing good and it popped in my head. So just say it. When you have something, no matter how outlandish it fucking sounds, If you, as long as you're in the right vibe, don't come from fear, right? Be comfortable, be relaxed. That's where those messages flow. It's a real thing. You know, I'm not a fucking genius, bro, and my memory sucks. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I remember fucking specific, you know, lines and shit. It's just that it's the knowledge is in there from what we read. We just got to allow it to flow. If I'm constricted, there's no flow there, right? But it's all coming from our higher self. As soon as you ignore that, that's strike one, right? You ignore it a couple more times, you strike three, you're out, yo. You ain't gonna go nowhere on that call, right? So I said, fuck it and quit it. You know, I didn't fucking question it. You know, it didn't. It's not like he laughed or anything. It didn't go anywhere, but it didn't fuck up the call either. You know, and there's a lot of things too that happen without someone showing an emotion about it. You know, just like the silent no's that we get, and we just never they never pick up the phone again, right? A lot of shit happened. We didn't even know. They didn't express it, right? So have trust that it's hitting the way it needs to be hitting. You know, I cut him off strategically, right? Because we were getting so now we understand who we're dealing with. Reason why we have discovery calls and we set frames and we go through our process, right? Is so we can understand who we're dealing with. We're downloading, as we talk to him, we're downloading the instruction on how to close them. He's telling us every fucking thing if we just listen. All I did was listen to him and use what he told me back at him. That's it, right? That is the formula, right? And so there's no scripts about this shit. The answers come from them, right? I just know some framework. I know a process. So I cut him off because we were getting somewhere, but he's so strong-willed on you're not gonna fucking mind fuck me, motherfucker, get out of my head type of thing, that he tried to go back into that same program. And I said, well, actually, we don't understand what you want. That's the challenge, right? And then I paused a little bit to see if he would concede, but no, he still wanted to try. So I said, it's like us walking into the bank, you know, this and that. And I ran that little scenario, right? He got it, you know. Let's see what he says.
Does that ease the frustration a little bit with all those calls before this?
At the end of the day, I'm not, like you said, I'm truly not frustrated. I'm just seems as though there's this wheel, and I'm debating whether or not I even should have got on this wheel, because I don't, like I said, I don't have to be on.
Still guarded.
Yeah.
Still guarded.
My situation is a little bit different, and I'm grateful for that.
And you own this free and clear, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so you're definitely different, because when we're talking free and clear, this is for gain. When we do this with someone, it's typically there's no equity. There's they have a mortgage. Sometimes they can't pay it. You know, that's a totally different situation. There's no interest conversation on that one at all. We're just taking over mortgage, giving them a little bit of money, and that's it. In your situation, anybody else we talk to on self-finance, they have to get something out of it, or else this thing ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? Sure, I totally understand that.
So I guess at this point, but let's just try to fix this. Today is Tuesday. Let's try to push this again the next Tuesday.
And do it.
Would that be the case? 2:00.
Yeah, and if it's okay with you, how about we connect and talk directly, so nothing gets lost in communication. This is my cell phone. If this is your direct line, you know, we can text here if that's easier, especially if your situation worsens, you know, or you're in the hospital, God forbid, or anything like that. Easy text.
Put me through all that. I just put this basic code, okay?
That's a basic code. That's it. All right, you go.
I've never been to the hospital from the day I was born, so I ain't finna send me that.
I love it. All right. Well, good, because we got to do this deal together. So yeah, we'll connect Tuesday. What time is good for you?
Deal 2:00. That's fine.
All right, love it. I will give you a call 2:00 Tuesday, and it'll be me, nobody else. So I have my notes here, and we'll start right from where we left off. How's that sound?
No problem.
All right, brother. You get better. All right. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
And then watch how Daniel curves me.
Fucking guy. Yo.
It's fucking
Daniel, you there?
Daniel, asshole. Motherfucker wasn't even there.
Oh, hold on, Daniel.
You ain't even
Right
there.
now he can't hear you.
No, that's not me. That's the video. That
No,
was
look at him.
Well, you're not muted. We just can't hear his audio. But no, that was the video calling for Daniel. That wasn't me saying it.
He said in the chat right now, he said he can't hear anybody and he can't talk.
Yeah. Leaving He's doing.
Can you hear us? Put a thumbs up, Daniel. Oh,
Yeah, he's gonna come back. No, so the video was the one in the video was actually calling him.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
he put in the chat that he can hear us right now, so I didn't know what he was.
okay, yeah. But so that's what he did. So when on the video, I'm like, this motherfucker ain't even here. We had a fucking fire ass call, a lot of learning, and this motherfucker ain't even here. Just fucked up the video, like asshole. So he pops back on later, and then we do a call review on it. And I say, hey, we should share if the audio comes out, we'll do an actual call review. Yeah. I gave him a briefing. I didn't do a call review there. This is the first call review he saw.
Okay.
But
I keep you guys for a second. I'm sorry.
All good. We just closed it out. The last things that happened in that call is now I've been conditioning him, right? Mm-hmm. He has a false sense of control, right now. He believes he is in control, right? Yeah. But we are actually in control. There is no reason. When I told you when we had the debrief yesterday for the call, there's no reason why. Well, there is a couple of reasons. There's going to be 3 reasons why anybody won't do a creative financing deal with you. I'll tell you in a second. But for him in this scenario, from this call, this is going to close. We're going to close this, right? Because he already understands. We understand he wants to sell and it has to make sense. He understands that we want to buy it if we can cash flow, and he knows we understand that he needs to make money as well. It has to be beneficial for him, right? How the fuck do we not close this deal?
Yeah.
How, right? So there's 3 reasons why we wouldn't close it in any transaction. 1, they don't fucking trust us. That's 1, right? I didn't tell him a fucking company name. I didn't tell him, he didn't ask for a website or an email. It's because my fucking swag on the call said it all, right? It's that white boy voice, right? That white guy voice, right? It's and I'm not talking like a white guy, but it's stereotypical. I used to think the white guy voice was sounding like a white guy. But the truth is, when you pop that red pill, the white boy voice is fucking confidence that you know what the fuck you're doing.
I thought you were white until I came to this chat.
Yeah, likewise, bro. I thought you were white when I saw you, and he told me this motherfucker's South American.
I started off hearing your voice. I'm like, I thought you were Caucasian until I came here. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, he's not Caucasian. Oh my god,
he's black. Yeah. New.
Yeah, just like he's black.
You know what I hear? Caucasian. That sounds like, oh, I thought you were wealthy. Thought you were fucking privileged.
Well, yeah, white people.
Right. That's what I thought. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Caucasian. That's a good word. Yeah, I got that Caucasian swag. But but not so now I've conditioned this guy to think that I'm professional as fuck. That's why I like everything virtual, bro. Because I'm rough around the edges. I got fucking pinky rings and shit, and fucking earrings and fucking
tattoos and shit.
Tattoo, and I be dressing like this if I go in appointments, yeah. But I gotta have that call first so they can feel my vibe before I get there, and they understand. Oh shit, you're like that. All right. I'm no longer changed for people, that's it. And that comes with a different confidence, different swag, walk different, talk different. Right. And,
like you're more like, you look like that, but you're a quite intelligent guy, so you can't really judge a book by its cover, even though you might look like that. That doesn't matter. Cause I was thinking about them, like Drew, even though Drew looks like that, like he's still sophisticated because like you can see all the books, the stuff that you're into, real estate, freaking the books, you're a sophisticated individual.
Yeah. That's why I like just the voice first, right? Yeah. Doing things virtually over the phone. 1, I'm lazy, comfortable here. I got my fucking meal prep. The only reason I can fucking, like stay fit is because I'm in a controlled environment and shit. I'm not out here fucking sweating and fucking missing meals and shit. Right. So, but I'll do that if I have to, right? You do it with what it takes, right? Just like Daniel right now, hustling shit. But yeah, I like it, right? Because I used to have a very bad limiting belief that, people were judging me. It wasn't a slave mentality, the one that I don't agree with at all. It was the fucking like, some of it comes from the military. We can't wear earrings, right? They're always constantly fucking worried about how we look, So, now I'm fucking free, bro. This is freedom, I will do a deal with somebody. It don't got to be this guy, right? So getting back to this, he understands I'm fucking credible source that if I go meet him, it's all good. It ain't gonna, I've met people who crack fucking black jokes, on the phone, Puerto Rican jokes and shit, like fucking, in a racist way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I laugh. I don't give a fuck because money is green. It ain't
Yeah,
Puerto Rican. It ain't black. It ain't
exactly.
white. You know what I'm saying? So this guy, I conditioned him, right? After he understood the reason, there was a risk, and actually there was no risk, right? In offering to just push it when he first mentioned he was sick. There's no risk. Now that I think about it, because either we would have got off the phone and never reconnected again. That's a win. I can move on to the next fucking person, right? Or he feels, hey, this guy ain't thirsty for this deal. This guy, let me hear what he says first, right? So now he gave me an opportunity to keep going at his permission, right? And we kept going. Even if he would have said no, or even said, yeah, let's just push it, I still could have fucking turned that around. It's like, all right, cool, definitely, let's push it. And just so we know it even makes sense to get on the phone, what actually are you looking for, so we can have that ready when we talk. You can always pivot. It doesn't matter. You can use whatever they give you. And so at the end, after asking him multiple times, he's satisfied, right? I handled everything, right? And then everything needed to be handled now. And then he's like, all right, well, let's push it to next Tuesday. Normally, when somebody is like that, there's a different type of vibration on that call, and it's not necessarily a positive one. And they're saying, let's next week, this now, Monday. If I get that shit, I'm gonna fucking pretend to look at my schedule and be like, damn, Monday's fucking tough. We're actually we've got 2 seller finance deals that day and 3 closings. That's gonna be impossible to do it. I could try to squeeze you in, but I want to respect your time more than just giving it a lucky shot to be able to connect with you. How about pushing it to Tuesday or Wednesday? I'm not thirsty, bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're telling them. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got me.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that. I was like, you were saying things like, the only way this deal wouldn't close. Like, I have a good understanding of, like, if he's saying yes and he's agreeing, he's being receptive, like, and he's showing that there's motivation. And he's saying on both parties, like, the deal could work out. Like, this is what I realized being in business. Like, the only reason why deals don't close, I feel like it boils down to 2 things for me. And those 2 things is, first, like, identifying what's not a deal, and then identifying what is a deal. So if you identify that it's not, if you identify that it's like, you have to be quick, because there's a lot of shit. Like, this is us, and then this is the stuff we're trying to get through. We have to go through all this stuff, right? We have to be good at, like, picking up the rock and being like, all right, dude, this is coal. This ain't gold. And then we need to, like, throw out the coal so we could try to get to the gold, right? And that's the way I look at it. Like, and I feel like the only reason why people don't close is because, number one, they take forever on trying to figure out whether it's a deal or not a deal, whether the person's motivated or not. And then number 2, the other reason why I don't think people close is because they're not good at persisting. So, like, I have realized that someone or something could be, like, a person could be actually motivated. Like, this guy, for all we know, the seller finance guy, he's motivated. Like, yes, I'm into you. Oh, I'm into you too. We could go out on a date, but the guy's not confident enough to go out there and keep following up. That's why they say follow up. The gold is in the follow up. I truly do believe that. Like, the only way I know that deals don't close is because, like, how can it close? How can you ever get something if you don't persist, if you don't get to it, and if you don't close or do it, right? Like, you could be the best lawyer in the world, but if you don't go out there and promote your services and go out there and help people with your services and find clientele and promote, like, you're never going to make any money,
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Well said. And that's a great reason why you ain't closing that deal. Not you, but I'm just saying the person, the fictitious person we're talking about. The reasons why they won't do a seller finance deal or a creative deal with us is for 3 reasons that I didn't finish. Actually, you reminded me. 1 is they don't trust us, right? 2 is that it's too we haven't explained it enough. Seems too complicated. Confused mind always says no. It's safer, right? And then 3 is they need the money for something.
Yeah.
They absolutely need it. And what Daniel was saying comes into play fucking huge, right? Is, it's not a fucking deal. If they need all of their equity, it's not a wholesale deal.
Yeah.
Trying to force 70 cents minus repairs or fucking 30 cents on the dollar or 50 cents on the stop forcing it. Yo, go to the next fucking person.
That's
People will
exactly
still.
Yeah, that's exactly what I figured out at first. I was on the call with him and I instantly I instantly started detecting. I'm like, okay, so can I get this guy 30 cents on the dollar? You can't drop a guy $100,000 on their home. You just can't do it. So once I detected that and I figured out, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to drop this guy on price. I started using all my other arsenal. I started saying, oh, like, hey, would you be interested in a seller finance deal? I didn't even know Drew at the time. But I'm like, and I told myself, well, I could find somebody who's an expert in this field and then pass it on to them and get a fee. And that's exactly what I did. I set that hook, set that intention. He's like, oh, I'm interested in that. I see there's motivation. I'm like, okay, there's motivation here. I can't keep persisting to close this deal because I'm not a Marine combat vet who's experienced in seller finance. So I'm like, I got to pass this on to someone I could set the intention to keep persisting. That's exactly what I did. But I passed this lead on to someone like Drew, who's an expert in Sub2 and freaking seller finance, so he could persist to the close.
Yeah, this is why I appreciate this guy so much, man, because he's a master of his craft and what he does on his side, and so am I. So, like kind attracts like kind, and we have a mutual respect. So if he holds down his side and operates like that, and I do my side, bro, we gonna fucking blow this shit up, like for real, 100%. Okay, you're different, bro. You're different. He's different than our JV partners we had in the past. And Mikey, you've been around for a minute. You've probably seen a handful of them, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Like he's different, right? Not just the fucking crazy ass energy, but these guys have a different energy, right? Mm-hmm. They get hype conditionally, right? He's internally motivated, right? Mm-hmm. Same here, right? It looks different on the surface, right? But it's the same energy, right? I recognize it. He recognized it. And we both have a story, right? Stories are important, right? Everyone has one. It's whether you have pinpointed yours or not, right? Mm-hmm. And what these other people do, the reason why I'm cutting all of them off, bro, because their fucking time sucks, is because they only get motivated when someone says hello to them. Someone says hello, they think it's a fucking lead. It's not a lead. You still don't know if it's a prospect or a suspect. And then when you get past and find out, they want to sell, all right, prospect, then you think it's a fucking deal, just because they're talking to you or just because, whatever, right? Yeah. And they hound you and they throw that shit on you and expect you to do their job. Like Daniel's doing his job to the fullest, so that's dope.
Yeah. Time is money.
Yeah,
time is money. And when you deal with people like you, Drew, who are at the top, who are like at the top pinnacle of making money, I already know the game. People like you don't want their fucking time wasted. Let's just be real. It's either you can quick it up and you get good at what you do, or you're gonna burn all your bridges. That's why I tell my people, I'm like, y'all are gonna be in this business. Y'all ain't gonna last long if y'all keep wasting everybody's time. Y'all these newbie wholesalers think they could just fucking come out here and waste time. Guess what? You're gonna burn all your bridges. There's only so many banks in the world. You go inside a bank, you talk nonsense. I'm gonna open this account, I'm gonna open that account, but you never bring any money in there. You get shut down from that bank and then the other bank and then another bank. And then guess what? You're into a real slave because you ain't gonna be able. You can get infamous, dude. So
facts.
Talking about that too, Mike. Actually, I'm paying for Mojo Dialer right after we get that. I'm giving Mike a seat and 10,000 leads, and obviously this seller finance came from those leads. So Mike's going to be obviously, calling leads all day long, and I created a text channel. So it's basically a HUD where not a HUD, but it's basically a text channel where like if Mike's doing deals, he could just post all the deals on there. I'm going to add you and Nico to that. So if y'all ever want to pop in, and every time Mike is calling, he can also share his screen on Discord. So for that means, Drew, if you ever want to pop in and just watch Mike share his screen and call on the interface, you just pop in, you press a button. You could see him freaking dialing away. And then also you could analyze all the deals that he's pitching on there. And you could just watch us literally lock up contracts and blast that out to y'all so we can make some money.
Dope. Let's do it, man. I'm excited, man. Let's make money like yesterday. Hell yeah.